Right now, you're going to see secret footage just released by The Undercurrent, where top Trump ally and fellow convicted felon Roger Stone explains how he plans on helping Trump undermine the 2024 election.
So far, given the incredible power they have and they will use ruthlessly, we're beating them as of today. So in the end, the president's trial in Georgia's falling apart. I think the judges are on the verge of dismissing the charges against him in Florida. They're delayed in New York City, and they're now delayed in Washington. So it's not clear that they can have a trial before the election, which is the absolute key to being able to convince people that the reason we lost was because of the trial. Right now, if they steal it, people say, well, that's not possible. Trump is leading in all the polls. They want to try him, suck up his money, suck up his time, and create the reason why their theft is plausible, believable. You see?
Yeah, what stops them from just like voter fraud? Like
they in some states it'll be easier to stop them, in other places it won't. But at least this time, when they do it, you have a lawyer and a judge whose home phone number standing by so you can stop him. We made no preparations last time. None.
Well, I was at the Capitol, so I'm prepared to go back.
Well, that may not be necessary. There are technical and legal steps that we have to take to try to have a more honest election. We're not there yet, but there are things that can be done.
Now, two things stuck out at me here. First, that they allegedly have a lawyer and judge's home phone number standing by who's willing to humor their inevitable claims of fraud, and so that person can, quote, stop it. He even says, we made no preparations last time, which suggests that this time they have made preparations, which apparently include having a judge in their pockets who will do their bidding for them. And so when votes get counted in urban areas that inevitably break in Biden's favor, and then Republican operatives inevitably cry foul, because clearly any vote not for Donald Trump must be fraudulent, this time they'll have hand-picked judges in the wings waiting to validate their temper tantrums. If that isn't a 5-alarm fire for democracy, nothing is. Stone also brings up another point. The judge is on the verge of dismissing the charges against Trump in Florida. Now, in fairness, I don't know if this claim is conjecture or whether Roger Stone or other Trump allies have some inside track in the Judge Cannon's thinking here, but regardless, it is clear that Cannon is overtly, aggressively hostile to Jack Smith, who is prosecuting Donald Trump in the Florida case, and has basically served as Trump's most effective defense counsel during this trial. She was already rebuked by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals for interfering on Trump's behalf. She's already attempted to give the jury bogus instructions based on Trump's erroneous interpretation of the Presidential Records Act. She already refused to actually bring this case to trial, even ignoring Trump's own request for an August 12th trial date. And most recently, after Trump's lies about FBI agents executing the search warrants put their lives in danger, and Jack Smith requested a gag order against Trump, Cannon threatened to sanction not Donald Trump, but Jack Smith. If Aileen Cannon was any more in the tank for Trump, she would show up to court in a MAGA hat. And so the fact that Roger Stone would come out and say that Judge Cannon is about to throw out the case by dismissing the charges may certainly be hearsay, but it 100% checks out, and is yet another proof point of the glaring corruption that we're contending with right now, as a pro-Trump judge who was appointed by the defendant is presiding over what should be an open and shut case, and instead of holding him to account, she is instead handing him the gift of delay that he is so desperately seeking. The whole thing is a travesty of justice, and if Stone is to be believed, then it's only going to get worse. Stone also points out the delay in the trial in D.C. That trial has been delayed as the Supreme Court has taken up this insane notion that a president has immunity to commit criminal acts with impunity. To be 1000% clear, that is absolute nonsense. A president has civil immunity, but not criminal immunity. You cannot murder someone, for example, while you're in office, and then hide behind your oath to get out of it, just as you can't incite an insurrection in clear violation of the Constitution, or block the electoral certification in clear violation of the Constitution, or refuse to abide by the peaceful transfer of power in clear violation of the Constitution, and then point to the fact that you are president as a way to absolve yourself. That is quite literally what differentiated the US from the monarchy that we left in the late 1700s. We adopted a system where no one, no, not even the president, is above the law. The fact then that the Supreme Court opted to even take up this case after it was properly adjudicated by Judge Chutkan in DC and the appeals court is a travesty of justice and a testament to the fact that the judicial rot in this country pervades the entirety of the court system, from rotten judges like Aileen Cannon all the way up to avowed partisan hacks like Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito at the Supreme Court. We shouldn't be surprised that the same guy whose house flew a flag in solidarity with the insurrectionists on January 6th would also opt to rule on a case involving the person who incited the insurrection itself. All of which is to say, Roger Stone isn't looking to make sure that the law is faithfully executed. He's not looking to make sure that all of the ballots get counted. He's not looking to ensure that there's no fraud. What Roger Stone and the rest of Trump's team are looking for are ways to undermine the system. We know that they have judges, we know that they have attorneys, we know that they have their armies of white supremacists and MAGA militants looking to intimidate voters, we know that they have the media ready and waiting to elevate their bogus claims of fraud. What they've created is a coordinated machine to, as Mark Elias says, make it harder to vote and easier to cheat. And this undercover video is a testament to exactly that. But look, the point here is not to leave you feeling despairing. Remember, Republicans want you to despair. They want you to feel like you have no agency. They want you to throw up your hands and give up because that gives them the advantage. Our best defense is a recognition of our agency and a willingness to show up and vote in numbers too big to rig. Is it a sad commentary on society today that we have to deliver a massive repudiation to Republicans just to prevent their efforts to inevitably undermine the results? Absolutely. But that's the sad reality of the world today, and given that that's our reality, as sad as it is, we have to be ready to do what's necessary to protect our system of government, which is to say nothing of voting rights and abortion rights and contraception and IVF and the climate and our health care and a fair tax system and a living wage and common sense gun regulations and so much more, but it all starts with democracy. We can't accomplish any of what we need to accomplish if we lose control of government and consequently our grasp on democracy itself. Trump has already promised to undermine the Constitution. He's already promised to become a dictator. We ignore these warnings at our own peril. So at this point, we have to organize like everything is on the line because it is. We have to donate to candidates so they can build out field offices, and we have to do that early. We have to volunteer to become poll workers. We have to organize our circles of people to ensure that low propensity voters show up to vote for Democrats up and down the ballot. When you look back at this pivotal moment, when democracy was on the line, you should be able to say that you did everything you could, that you left it all out on the field. I'm not asking everyone to do everything, but I am asking everyone to do something. Because it's not up to the courts to save us, it's not up to attorneys or prosecutors or elected officials, this one's on us. We know who we're going up against and what they're capable of. So our job is to be ready to fight back and send a message to Republicans once and for all that in the battle for democracy, we are going to win every single time. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.